Today we are here at the Ncba Economic Forum, where we do a number of things. One, Ncba unveils its projections for the economy, first reviews their projection for this year, and of course unveils the projection for next year. So today we made some projections in the economy. We believe the economy will grow by 5%. That's an upward revision from where we had projected, which was 4.8%. We're also quite optimistic that next year will be at about 5.1%. Again, as we do in the next economic forum, we shall review that. The second thing that we do in this economic forum is we invite some of the best economists in this country to give their own view about the economy, about the government policies, about the executive actions, and of course their own projections of the economy. And today, beyond the panel of economists that we have, we are privileged to have the chair of the Presidential Economic Council, Advisory Council, Dr. David D, who is here with me now, where he has shared a number of very useful information. I should just say, before he comes in, that it was in this forum that he came and assured Kenyans we are not going to default. It was in this forum that he came and talked about the G2G program and how it will work and stabilize the shilling. It was in this forum that he said he promised that the macro issues in the country will be dealt with before we deal with the supply side issues in the micro economic space. So that's what we are doing today is to further that conversation.
So, John, maybe just a quick question from me. Just looking into 2026, what's your biggest concern in terms of the headwinds that we're likely to face as an economy?
Sure, I think we're all clear that the macro issues have been addressed. I think everybody, when they look at the what you call macro issues of the country, the debt overhang, I think, has become it's no longer a conversation the way it used to be. Inflation has been well contained. I think if you look at the exchange rate, again, has been very stable. Now people are getting uncomfortable that it's too stable. If you look at government fiscal consolidation has been ongoing, obviously, with some challenges here and there. So I think from a macro perspective, we're good. Interest rates are now coming down. Again, a really good choice. So the next real focus is on the micro, is how then does Wall Street translate it to Main Street? How does the dinner table, as people are calling it now, how do we fix the dinner table? So for me, the biggest focus is that. And one of the things I announced today is that in January, we'll be launching an NCBA index that is going to be purely focused on actual consumer spending. And that will be launched in January. That will start to show trends on the micro as opposed to the macro. And I think the biggest concern is how do we translate the successes that we have seen on the macro to the industry? How do we translate that? So, and I think having again David D here, who looks at that connection very closely, becomes very useful.
Maybe if I may ask, what financing solutions should
I think I was going to stay with the economic discussion today, but I think you're asking about the banking. Look, I think last year we made a commitment as a banking sector to lend, I believe, was 150 billion to grow credit by 150 billion to the micro and SMEs. I believe the scorecard is done by Kenya Bank Association is that we got close to that number and we need to repeat it now this year. The reality of it is that unless interest rates continue to come down, the demand for credit has not grown. We're starting to see a reversal that we're starting to see private credit start to grow. The new risk-based pricing that we're going to be rolling out should help quite a bit. And through that, we should be able then to lend to the SME. I think in this country, when you talk about SMEs, what they require is accessibility of credit is the most important thing. And we have many, many products at Ncba to support SMEs. We're the biggest in asset finance, for example. Transport is a big thing in this country. We have lots of solutions for that. We are helping SMEs lease some of their capital equipment with a very big leasing program for SMEs. and our work on mobility as well. Electric mobility is another area where we're helping SMEs. So I think all in all, we have very good products. I should also add that we're working closely with government on the government guarantees or this credit guarantee program that is going to be available to SMEs, and that should be rolled out quite soon on a pilot basis.
Right. So I think just a couple of questions for Dr. Ndi. And one of them for me is there has been a bit of concern, particularly on the National Infrastructure Fund, and the concern